Tesla sold off pretty aggressively today, hit lows near $170, but we ended up bouncing and we held support. So I am still bullish, and I actually averaged down today on my Tesla position. And in this video, we're going to go over the trade that I ended up averaging down on. We're going to talk about my current holdings on Tesla. We're going to go over where I think Tesla's headed in the next couple of weeks. And I will say, I think that we can move back to test $200. And the reason for that is that last week we had a break through this resistance level of $180. And this is what's called a break of structure. We actually use a specific and very basic indicator to show us this. And you can see that over the past 170 trades at the top right side of your screen, where we've broken through this resistance level, we have continued to push back up into a higher high nearly 80% of the time. And we don't buy on this initial breakout. If you guys watch this show or this podcast, you know that I'm usually waiting to accumulate shares down near the market bias. Now, the market bias is this line. It is a very simple indicator that just shows you the current direction of the market. More so, I like to use this on a daily chart, which is what you can see we're running it on right now. Anytime that price is pushed over this market bias level and it is bright green, this means that we're in an expansion mode and we are looking to push up in an aggressive manner. When price breaks below this level and it is double red, it means that we are going to be in a drastic sell-off mode or an expansion to the downside. You can see here that we are now over the market bias once again. We are pulling back to test this market bias level, which should be a strong support. And we know the fact that we have break of structure set up here, that we should be moving our way next week or in the next couple of weeks back up to $200. Now, there's definitely a chance that price breaks through $169 and that we're going to end up getting stopped out. But to be quite honest, this type of risk versus reward on this trade is more than worth taking a position. So now let's move into the actual position. You guys are going to see here that these are the executions that we have so far. The first order that we put in here was back on 4:30. Now, if you guys do not follow me on X/Twitter, you must go and do that because I post all of these executions for my Tesla positions over there. I cannot post it on YouTube because I'd be posting so many trades and videos every single day. It would be overwhelming. You can see that I entered this position here for $13.95. I knew at this time on this initial breakout for Tesla right here, I knew that there is a very low chance that price was going to quickly bounce back up to this $203 level. But I wanted to take a trade and start a small position just in case. I was more so looking to see price sell back to maybe 176. And you know, as we were posting on X, that $174 was the key area that I was looking to average down. A couple days later, when contracts are less expensive, we end up averaging down for $9.20. So you can see that we ended up acquiring another 10 contracts. And then on 5/8, which is today, that's where I went in with my big average down, which was 30 contracts. And you can see here that this is how the accumulation has been. And this will give me a solid average of around, obviously we're trading contracts here, but if it was shares, somewhere around 183 to 185. And so for those of you might be saying, well, listen, if the best time to enter was waiting for a pullback down to the market bias, then why didn't you do that? And the truth is that honestly, when you're doing this full time and you have to provide for people and your family, and you need to make sure that you have a certain amount of quality setups coming in, you have to realize that you can't sit there and cherry pick the ultimate trade setups. I know that in a real perfect world, that's how it would be. But when you need to have consistency in your trading, you need to have reliable setups. The big thing to notice here is that we want to make sure that when we're accumulating a position, that even though we have a high chance of profit, that we're going to start entering our position and knowingly build it out over time. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have the capital luxury, if you're not trading with $20,000, $30,000 where you can just sit there and slowly build into a position, then what you need to do is focus on entering at the optimal trade entry. And the optimal trade entry is going to be down at the market bias. And you can see here that if I could only have one of these entries, let's just go back to that Tesla position, right? If I could have only had one of those executions and I couldn't have been able to take every single one of those trades, I would have only taken the most recent one today. That's why I averaged down so heavily. And this average down wasn't like a prayer, right? I knew I wanted 50 from the very beginning. So we're going to start with 10. We're going to add 10. And then at the optimal trade entry, that's where we're going in heavy. And so if we look here now, you're going to see this is a big position, $42,500. This expires in June. This is a $185 call. And the biggest thing that I want you to understand here is now my average is 850, which is very, very good. But I will not be averaging down anymore from this point. If this thing breaks underneath 168 and we hold under 168 and we break underneath this market bias, then we are out of this entirely. And the reasoning for that is if we pop one movement out further, which is going to be the weekly time frame, you're going to notice that we do have this market bias on the weekly coming in like a freight train as a potential rejection. So I do think that we're going to see this move up to 200. I'm going to be playing that out until June. And I do think that there's a chance that we reject at $200. And from there, that's where I'll be taking my profit. Thank you guys for all of the support. If you want to trade with me each and every single day, get access to all of my real-time alerts, all of these indicators, and much more, go check out the link to our private academy in the description. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you next time. Peace.